Open 8 o'clock agenda briefing. I call to order. Commissioner Aycott, you do the invocation. Pledge allegiance. Commissioner Harrell. Approval minutes. Discussion adjustment of agenda. We gonna have any?
Yes, ma'am, we
Okay.
do have one adjustment. I'll walk on put it under consent. It's awarding of a grant administration services related to the Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD project, which will be EMS Station 12 on Elm Street. And this is a request for proposals, was sent out on December the 4th, 2024, received one unopened proposal on January 15th, 2025. It was rebid on January 16th. Opened again on January 28th, and they only received one proposal from Insight Engineering Planning, Wilmington, North Carolina. With this, the review committee respectfully requests awarding this project to Insight. That would be under the consent agenda.
And can we go into detail a little bit on that? I mean now, so,
It's project management for the HUD grant that is funding EMS Station 12
well, yeah,
on Elm Street.
okay. So we're moving forward with it.
As fast as we
As
can.
fast as the government will let us.
Correct. We're still working through lease arrangements, but we need to have a project manager ready to go when we do achieve that lease, so.
Okay. As long as we're moving forward.
Yep. That's the only change, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, we have some special presentations. Dana Lane, the audit. Motion to approve the United Way Celebration 100 Years Proclamation by Sherry Archibald. Motion to approve 2025 Black History Month. Proclamation is presented by Vice Chair Bevan Foster. Special presentation by County Manager Crumpler.
We have the presentation on the, oh, I'm sorry. That must be later. Getting ahead of myself. Thank you.
All right, Appointment Committee. Motion to appoint Ethel Sampson to the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. Number 8, motion to appoint Summer Denton to Tourism Development Authority, replacing Nikki Cox. Motion to reappoint Jamie Livingston, Jason Adams, Sheriff Larry Pierce, Matthew Delbridge, Christy Howe, Kimberly McQuire, Carol Bowden, Phil Sexton, Antonia Wilson, Brooklyn. Carol, help me with that one.
ATEC?
AYTCH.
H. How'd you pronounce that? H.
H.
Like the letter?
Oh, okay. Gabriella Concello,
Tascarilla.
Dustin Pittman, Curtis Stackhouse, Scott Satterfield, Hunter Ageman, Felicia Wildner, Felicia Brown, Beverly Bell, Renata Dawson, Mary Ann. Okay.
Question on that one. Since Scott Satterfield has stepped down as president of the chamber, is that gonna make any difference?
Should.
Bradley Victory, Colleen Kolonsky to Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Motion to reappoint Ken Gerard, Dr. Lizaris to the Wayne Health Corporation Board of Directors. Motion to reappoint Craig Pearson to the Pikeville Planning Board. Is this the one that we were?
Madam Chair, that's going to change to a motion to table the appointment to the Pikeville Planning Board. So we'll be making a motion to table that.
Okay. Motion to report Dingus to the Goldsboro Wayne Transportation Governing Board.
Excuse me, would you prefer to just remove that from the agenda for today, or would you do it?
I think that's good if we just remove it.
Okay.
Remove it?
Yes.
Okay.
Would that be your second change?
All right. I got a question on the last one. I thought I got an email. Let me,
Which one, the number 12?
yes, ma'am. Let's see. I thought I got an email from Octavius Murphy that Mr. Dingus had resigned. Is that correct?
No, he has not resigned.
He has not resigned, okay.
Octavius
resigned.
Octavius resigned, okay, I got you, okay, all right. That'll work. Temple, never mind. Misunderstood the email. Sorry.
All right, on consent agenda, budget amendments. Good morning.
We're going to start off with budget amendment number 188 for OES. This is to appropriate $50.97 that they have received for electric capital credit earnings from Tri-County Electric. Number 211 is from the Sheriff's Office. This is to appropriate funds from a public donation to utilize for Sheriff's Office needs in the amount of $2,972.88. Number 216 is for the Health Department. This is for $34,500 to realign the professional services budget to fund required language services for the TB, CMHRP, child health, maternal health, family planning, and WIC programs for the remainder of the fiscal year. Number 219 is from 911. This is the restricted funds. This is to appropriate fund balance for the purchase of priority dispatch interface with One Solution Central Square CAD software, $4,940. Number 223 is from the Health Department. This budget amendment is to allocate the remaining funds for the 24-25 agreement addendum for COVID-19 vaccination program. These funds will be used for vaccination equipment and supplies. The total amount for this is $29,840. Budget amendments number 226 and 227. These are for our lap salaries. Since we are beginning our budget season, we have to review our budgets for salary line items and fringes to make sure that they will continue to get us through the end of the year. These are all moving funds from within the budget. There's no fund balance being appropriated. So this is for all departments, and the second budget amendment, number 227, is for the Health Department. Number 228 is from Facilities. This is to realign funds from repairs and maintenance equipment to capital outlay buildings in the amount of $6,818 for a heat pump for Development Alliance. And finally, number 229, this is from Finance. This is to appropriate fund balance for the remaining contract amount needed to complete the WebEx project for $45,000. And we do have one more 230. This budget amendment is from the Wayne Executive Jetport for $6,200. This is to move funds from repairs and maintenance to capital outlay, building structures. This is to purchase a heating and AC unit as recommended by facilities. That is all that I have.
Thank you, Angie. All right, number 14.
Motion to adopt a resolution declaring surplus real property and approving the sale of 107 Short Street, Mount Olive. And Andrew, you speak on that.
Good morning. This is a surplus property. It was a foreclosure back from actually 2014, so we've owned it for more than 10 years. And we received an offer from Mr. Christopher Michael Jones. He regularly purchases a lot of our foreclosure sales, and he actually found this one. We didn't even know that we owned it until he reached out. But his offer is $3,000. And I've contacted the town of Mount Olive, and they're satisfied with that offer. So if you all approve it today and it goes through upset bid process with no bids, then it'll go to town council in Mount Olive for approval.
How big is the lot?
100 by
What does that say?
14, it's about
100 by,
141,
yeah.
14,000 square feet.
That's a half acre.
Mm-hmm.
14,118, zero actually.
And we will
questions?
send letters to the adjoining property owners
Okay.
as well, so they're aware.
Bid number 15. Motion to approve the final bid for the sale of county-owned timber on 39.84 acres at the Wayne County landfill, pursuit of provision North Carolina General Statute 168-269.
And if you remember a couple of meetings ago, you all approved a timber bid for the backside of at the landfill. We advertised it in the local paper, and we did receive one upset bid, and that was the amount of $29,359. So we had to re-advertise that. We have done that, and we have not received any additional upset bids. So we needed to bring that back for your approval today. So that's what's on for approval. I have attached a copy of the timber sale contract as well, and it requires the buyer to clear everything out within 90 days.
Stumps and all,
I believe so, yeah.
Any questions?
And there will be that, you remember there's a 15-foot buffer on the backside because Overman Farms is right there. So we're gonna work with the Overmans to make sure that they're satisfied with the buffer that we leave right there between our property and theirs.
This is located where?
landfill.
The landfill?
Oh, the landfill, there should be, yeah, there's a map. It's just under 40 acres.
And the bid was what?
29,359.
29,359.
359. Who don't?
That's a low bid.
Well, the issue, if they're stumping it, that ain't low at all.
Okay.
If they're gonna clear the stumps off of it, that's,
Oh, they're clearing the stuff?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yes.
I was agreeing too, that was a low bid, but.
What-
I don't think the timber is very high quality out there either.
Well, and they're removing the stumps, I mean, that's.
What? If,
no,
we need the land to expand the landfill.
Yes.
Okay, so the stumps and all have to be removed.
hey, on description of harvest. On number 3.
Mm-hmm.
It don't say anything about the, stumping day.
That's what I was looking at. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we'll add that. And I think I said 15-foot buffer is a 50-foot buffer as
If they're
well.
not stumping it, we have the capability on site.
Right, to do it, yeah, yeah, we got the dozers and all, yeah.
Yeah, but with the bid on the timber that low, they need to do it.
Well, it depends on what the contract,
Bid what it bid.
yeah.
I do remember the initial round of bid, this was by far one of the highest ones. I think the other ones were in the $13,000 to $20,000 range.
Is it hardwood or pine?
Fine. Yours, pine.
Yeah, but it don't look very thick by the aerial map. But you can see ground in there, so that it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are changing the contract to remove the stumps?
I'll make sure that that's in there. Well, I guess we'll
However it
check.
was bid, is
Yeah,
what
I
it'll
can
have
say,
to
how
stand
it was
as.
bid is where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'll check with Blake and make sure that it's consistent with how it was bid.
Okay.
All right, well, that's all on that one. Next item is motion to approve preliminary plat for Ellis Park subdivision.
This is down there by where you lived at, Wayne.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, this is a preliminary plat, so this is the beginning of the process for subdivision, so no improvements are in place at this time. There are 125 lots proposed at this site. This is on the Hunter Road. If you're familiar with Willowbrook subdivision, it's directly beside of it, so it's the north side of the Hunter Road, just to the west of Willowbrook subdivision. The average lot size for this is about 25,000 square feet, so it's a little over half acre average lot size for that. There is some open space in there, as you see, that they'll be setting aside for HOA. And then they do have an emergency access as well. In the event that the main access is blocked, they will have an emergency access that'll be gated for people to get in and out in the event that they need to, or emergency vehicles as well. So with that-
Is this plot for both sides of the road or just one?
The what, I'm sorry,
Is this for one side of the road or both sides of the road?
this one's just one side.
Which
The
side of the subdivision?
north side,
This is the north
south
side,
side.
the north side. The south side is a different one. That was Piper Point that came before y'all last year at some point. There's one going in on the south side, a separate subdivision called Piper.
Oh, that's gonna be a
Point.
separate one?
That one's separate
Yeah,
from
me
this.
too.
That
Both
came
sides of the
through.
road.
Yeah, I knew they were on both sides of the
So
road, but
that's
I thought
just-
it was just one.
This is just past the EMS station on the right.
That's
before
right,
you-
yeah.
It joins my sister's land.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Right.
Cause they'd already started staking out on the south side. You see Staub's all out there.
That's how many lots in there?
This one is 125.
So much for portable classrooms at Northwest.
Down they'll go to Fremont here.
Huh?
They'll go to Fremont here. They're at Weathervane, back towards my house, they go to Fremont.
Where you gonna put them portable classrooms, Tim?
Just said it ain't gonna be his problem for long.
We have to see who buys it, see if they come with children, and then if they pick up.
Can we put a
they
stipulation
replace
on
what we
children? No schoolroom.
Okay.
All right, Barry, next one.
All right, the next one is, excuse me, Hudson Village. This is a final plat, so unlike the first one, this is the end of the process, so they do have all the improvements in. You saw the preliminary for this, I think, a little over a year ago. So there are 78 lots with this subdivision. It is on South Beston Road. If you're familiar with Ellington subdivision and Willow Pond subdivision, it's sandwiched right between the two of them. Two of those subdivisions on South Beston, so it's on the east side of South Beston Road, the opposite side of where Walnut Creek is. Average lot size is 21,570 square feet, so roughly half an acre. And then we do have a built to standards letter from DOT, and all the improvements, as I said, are in, and the planning board has reviewed this and does recommend approval.
That's off of what road?
South Beston.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's the one in there behind. Oh, yeah, I know it does.
Any questions on Hudson Village?
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Where are all these people working?
Now, where are they coming from?
And the last, number 18 is a motion to adopt internal control policy for compliance with Uniform Guidance 2 CFR 200.302-303, and I'll let Angie, our finance director, describe that for you.
We have two grants. They are ARP funded, state ARP funded at the Jetport, our sewer project and our stormwater. Since DEQ is requiring us to have a county internal control policy, we have individual departmental internal control policies, but they are requiring that we adopt a county-wide internal control policy. This was not required for our $23 million that we received, but they are requiring it for these two grants. So that's the purpose for this. This has been reviewed by legal.
Just these two grants or anything we would get from now on through DEQ would
Anything, we're already complying, this is just putting it into a formal document.
what I'm saying is this will suffice for whatever, anything else we do through DEQ?
Any federal
I
funded
would think so,
projects.
Okay, which is, okay. So it wouldn't be-
unless they change their minds,
Change their
change
little
their
thing.
operations.
I got it.
We just comply when we.
We just comply.
Comply.
So that was all for the consent agenda, Madam Chair. Then we have public comments, and then we'll have county managers report, Board of Commissioners committee reports, closed session, and then
We got closed session
Do we
now.
have a closed session?
yeah, we have closed session for now,
Yeah.
first, but, then we'll, go over to the detention center and the DHHS health building and walk through, and take a look around. And then we'll adjourn from over there at the DHHS. So, if you're okay, we'll go into closed
Madam
session
Chair,
now.
I move to go in closed session for
Consult with your lawyers to,
All right, do I have a motion to go in closed session?
Yes.
All right.
we
All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the February 4th board meeting. I call to order. Invocation will be Commissioner George Wayne Aycock.
Ready? Y'all bear with me because I'm about to lose my voice. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you be with us today as we make the decisions for the county of Wayne and make the decisions that will benefit the most of the people that live in the county. We also ask that you be with our men and women in uniform, especially the ones that are deployed. We ask that you be with our first responders, regardless of what branch of emergency service they're in, be with them, because they're working in difficult times now. We ask that you be with the leaders of as county leaders. We ask that you be with our state leaders, and we ask that you be with our national leaders. And we're going through some changes now, and let's just hope that the changes are for the better. Also, we ask that you be with the families of the two airplane crashes that happened over the weekend and last week. Such a tragedy that you know, nobody can anticipate something going like that happening. But we just be with the families of those two instances, and be with our people that's working the border, because they're in harm's way. And we ask all this in your name. Amen. Amen.
Commissioner Tim Harrell,
Everyone,
pledge allegiance.
please stand and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes for January 21st.
So moved.
Got a motion on the floor? Thank you, Commissioner Daughtry.
Trying to come up,
On your computer, Chris.
the oops, Terry, move. On the road.
All right, we have a special presentation.
Adjustment of the agenda,
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Is it on?
We
Oh, yeah.
have two changes. I have one walk-on that was put under the consent agenda, and that was an award for grant administration services related to the Department of Housing and Urban Development project for EMS Station 12 on Elm Street. That award would be to Insight Company. And then we were also going to remove under the appointment committee, item number 11. And that's all the changes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the adjusted agenda?
So move.
Got a motion on the floor to approve the adjusted agenda? Thank you, Commissioner Aycock. All right, we have a special presentation by our audit for Wayne County for 23-24, Ms. Dana Lane. Thank you.
Thank you for
You did
allowing me to come
great.
today.
Yeah.
And I think they have a PowerPoint for us. Make it easier to see. Perfect. All right, so again, my name's Dana Lane, a partner with the firm of Number Share and Azell. And we thank you for allowing us to do the audit again this year. This is for June 30th, 2024. And up front, it's already went through the approval of the LGC. So we don't have to worry about any changes made to the statements, as you have the full bound copy for your leisurely reading. So, can I advance this, or do you advance? You can. Just, there you go, pull up. Gotcha, thank you. All right. So, our purpose, of course, is to issue that auditor's opinion. And we have issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that we can give you that those financial statements are fairly presented. If we were going to issue anything besides an unmodified opinion, we would have already met before today. so that you would know why. Okay, our responsibilities, of course, include that opinion. We use audit evidence, confirmations, contacts with the state, the federal government, and test all the major balances in those financial statements to make sure that they are reasonably presented. And then we also have to do a little bit of work on some supplementary information like Elders retirement, LEOSA, and things like that. And those are our responsibilities. Of course, management, these are a representation of management, and our letters is the audit part, okay? So the statements themselves represent the county for the year and its manager's responsibilities, you know, finance office, Mr. Chip, and things like that, to make sure that those statements are complete to the operations of Wayne County. I always say, if you don't read anything else in those financial statements, that you read the management discussion and analysis. It has financial highlights of the year, where things changed, what went up, did anything go down. It's an overview of how the financial statements flow together, because government financial statements are not the easiest statements to understand. So that gives you a good reading of how the different statements work together. It's the only place you'll see comparative figures besides the statistical data in the back, because we do not present governmental financial statements comparatively, because it makes other parts of the audit and other parts of the financial statements more difficult. So therefore, you only present 1 year at a time. It gives you budgetary highlights of both this year and what's going to kind of be expected for the next year with your budget. So it's a good overview of the operations of Wayne County, the financial positions, and how the year ended up. Okay, I pull out certain statements just to present, and I usually just present what we call the governmental statements, fund level statements, because that's how you operate throughout the year. You are required by law to operate on a budget, and that is at the basically what's called the modified cash basis. So therefore, I just start with those statements. This is actually Exhibit 3 that's on the PowerPoint. Exhibits 1 and 2 are what's called full accrual statements. And full accrual, I always explain it like your home. You own a home, maybe it costs $250,000. You owe $50,000 still on it, that's your liabilities, and then your equity is that $200,000. Okay, and that's how the full accrual statements present. If you closed on June 30th, 2024, that is everything that you had and everything that you owed to outside sources, and then the net equity of the entity. We start on Exhibit 3 because that's how you operate day to day. That's where the most of your decisions are made and changes to the statements. So we start with this balance sheet because that is the modified accrual. And then I just present the general fund because over years, changes in how these statements are presented have made the statements larger and larger and more cumbersome to read. But the general fund is the single fund that, as commissioners, you have the most responsibility of. A lot of the other funds are dictated by grants, debt, and things like that. So therefore, here is your balance sheet for the governmental fund level. As you can see, you had about $59 million in cash and about $18 million in restricted cash. And then you had some inventory, some due from other governments, giving you total assets of about $94 million. You owed some accounts payable and some tax payables, like payroll taxes and things like that, of another $3 million. And then deferred inflows of resources. It's basically a liability related to property taxes and retirements. And then, of course, you have your fund balance. And so the equity at the modified cash basis is about $89 million. Okay. And then I skip Exhibit 4 because Exhibit 5 gives you better information with how you compared to your budget and where did you stand with your budget. Same statement is on Exhibit 4 column general fund as in Exhibit 5 here. And this is your general fund operations compared to your budget. And if you look, your revenues were under budget by about $10 million. Most of it had to do with some grant funding that did not come in before the end of the year and is expected for 6/30/25. You can see your expenditures, again, were well under budget of another $30 million. And all of that's a reflection, again, of If you don't get the grant funding, you didn't spend it, things like that, that affects your budget. It is better to be under budget than over budget, so. And then we have some other little changes, basically showing that your general fund operations increased almost $16 million for the year, okay? Onward. Okay, and then this is just a graph to where you can see your revenues and what supports the county. For the most part, ad valorem taxes and these grants and local option sale taxes where the majority of your funding comes from, okay? And as you look at the bottom right corner, that is comparative to last year. It looks like I just copied it. It's pretty much identical, very consistent year to year to how you operate. The next slide is, again, expenses by function. Where do you spend this money? Of course, general government operations, but the larger pies are public safety, human services, and education are the three main areas where your funding is spent during the year. Okay, next we have the proprietary statements. So the proprietary statements are your business type operations, and that's the solid waste, Maxwell Center, the Jetport, and the last column, the non-major, is the sewer system, which I believe as of July 1st is now part of the general fund, which I respect that decision that you made to make that part of the general fund, and won't be there next year. So as you can see, your business type, these are full accrual statements. So you gotta switch your mind, full accrual, this is everything, because they're supposed to operate like a for-profit business, okay? And so you have the statement of net position, which is basically balance sheet in the for-profit world. And you can see that the total assets of those four entities are around $79 million. And then you had liabilities of around $23 million. A couple of the large things that reflect in your liabilities, of course, is accrued landfill, that post-closure cost, which is a calculation done in order that if you were ever to close your landfill down, this is how much money it would cost to clean up and keep it safe for the public. And then you have debt associated with both the Maxwell Center and the sewer system of about another $9 million, giving you basically the equity in your for-profit type business of about $56 million, okay? And then Exhibit 7 is basically the profit and loss statement of the proprietary funds, giving you solid waste with $7 million in revenues, a little shy of $7 million in expenses, and then some other types of interest income, grants, things like that. And making a total change or increase in their net position of about $1 million. Maxwell Center had about $1.4 million in revenues, expenses of about $2.5 million, some other changes and things, some transfers, giving you about $156,000 increase. Jetport had about $1.1 million in revenues, about $1.9 million in expenses, and then some other changes there of about $400,000, giving you net income of about $400,000. And then the sewer, like I said, is being closed. So closed into the general fund is $700,000 in revenues, just shy of $700,000 in expenses. Some funding mainly for debt payments, giving you a change in net position of $270,000, or a total of about $1.9 million for the four entities. Okay. We do issue some other reports that are required because of the governmental funding that you receive from both the federal government and the state government. We issue a report on internal controls, and I'm happy to state we have no findings on your internal controls. We test various federal programs that receive funding of over $750,000, and so you had no findings with the programs that we are tested. And if you ever wanted to see there's a whole compliance section that lists the programs that we tested this past year. We have a communication of no material weaknesses. That's a letter by our profession. Basically, it's almost the same as the internal control document with no suggestions this year. And we do a communication to those charged with governance, because I work for the board as your eyes to go in and look at these things and to do the audit. So since I work for the board, we write a letter specifically to you that states that there were no changes in accounting policies for the year, that there are estimates in the statement. Post-closure costs, that's an estimate. Depreciation is an estimate. Allowance for bad receivables, that's an estimate. And all of those are in the statements and have been tested. No difficulties in performing the audit. I said it before the meeting started, but I'll say it in the public forum, that the staff was very accommodating, helpful. We spent about 4 weeks here in the month of September, and we're their focus. So they got us what we needed to get our audit done. No disagreements with management, and management does sign a letter stating various things to me. Okay, those are the statements. Any questions before we go to the performance indicators? Okay, good. I like that. So the state Mr. Dodge, you couldn't let me go, huh?
I just want you to repeat one of those comments that you made, and that is, as auditor, you are actually working for this board.
Yes.
You're not working for management, you're working for the board, and your report is directly to the board.
Yep. So, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the state decided to start these state performance indicators that we present. I really don't have to present them because you have no findings, but they are some good figures that you should be aware of anyway, so we're going to present it. Anyway, so your fund balance for a unit your size should be between 16 and 32%, and that's the general fund balance, okay? And it's important to have that type of reserve because your revenues don't come in like this. You know, taxes, when we pay our property taxes, it increases. The next month, the revenue's gonna be here. This grant comes in, this grant doesn't come in. So your revenues come in like this, but your bills are like this. Your expenses are the same, a lot of them, every month. So therefore, the state recommendation is that you have 16 to 32% general fund balance available. And therefore, if you look, you were at 47% for the year. So you were fine with that. The other thing they point out is the appropriated fund balance. If you appropriated fund balance and you had basically a loss for the year, then that would be a performance indicator. However, you did not. You did appropriated in the budget. You didn't use it, and you had a positive increase of about $16 million in the general fund. And if the general fund had a total fund balance less than zero or a fund deficit, we would have, of course, met beforehand to discuss that situation. You have a positive fund balance of right at $89 million. The water sewer fund says the quick ratio, that is current assets or short-term assets, receivables, cash, things like that, over short-term liabilities should be greater than 1. You're fine here, it was about 2. The water sewer fund, the unit result says operating net income should be greater than 0, and they are in this situation. And your unrestricted cash should be, again, about 2 months of operating expenses, and your cash balance was fine for the year. I'm sorry?
Back to that chart.
Sure.
If I'm reading this correctly, in 22, we had a negative of 118, 23, 247, 24, a positive of 71. Is that correct?
Yep.
This has been a hard task to finally get us in the positive.
Right.
Thank you.
But I still don't believe that this is truly a proprietary fund, so the decision to roll it into the general fund was the correct decision made by management and the board, because you only have 8 entities that support the entire sewer fund.
Well, at least we're going in with a positive figure.
That's true.
And the entities that all support it are usually, most of them are governments, a school, and nonprofits. It's not your common everyday person using the sewer system, and so therefore, it's just.
Well, there was just a lot of effort and work to try to finally get that to the positive, and
Yeah.
so I'm sorry, I wanted to kind of
It's
Since you went
fine.
to positive there.
It's good. It's why you don't have a letter this year.
Okay, that's true.
And then they have the water and sewer capital condition ratio, and that just means, is your capital assets at least not depreciated by more than 50%, and you're fine on that one. And then there's a couple of other just general performance indicators. Was the audit report submitted timely? Yes, it was. Budgeted tax levy had a negative percentage. It didn't. No budget issues, no material violations or significant deficiencies. You're not on the UAL. Was the finance officer there the entire year? Yes. Appropriately bonded? Yes. And no debt service issues. So therefore, no response is needed to the local government commission this year. So that's a good thing.
Very good.
And that's it. And there's for my questions. If anyone needed to call me.
Can you elaborate on the ULA?
So that is a unit assistant list, and if a lot of those, you had a lot of reds on those performance indicators, if you had negative fund balance, if you had traditional losses for several years, you go on this UAL. And then you only come off after you have good financial standing. So in Wayne County, there's quite a few small towns that are on the UAL. But as a county, you are not on the UAL. It provides,
Which is a good thing.
it is a good thing. You don't want to be on the radar.
A great thing, actually.
It's a great thing, because then a LGC representative gets assigned to you, they come and visit, you have to give them your budget, I don't know if it's monthly or quarterly. You have to go through a lot of things and provide a lot of documents throughout the year to the LGC when you're on the UAL, because they're trying to help people get to a strong financial standing, a stable financial standing, so.
And we
You're
all-
not on, you haven't been on it.
No,
So-
we know who,
Yeah, you're good, so,
And we owe a lot of our good financial, to our finance department and our county manager, and assistant
Yep.
county manager and attorney, so we got a good team,
you do.
very responsible, conservative.
The 4 and 9 gap,
I'm sorry,
the 4 that you were speaking on in 9 gap,
the non-gap,
yes. They said it was 4 and it was like 1.9 million.
you're talking about the, Exhibit 7. This one?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I'm not sure. I'm looking at it a little different, and I'm looking at it a little different in my book. I'm going through each one with the sewer, the Jetport, Maxwell, all 4 of those.
Right, those are all proprietary, and they're, for profit, they're supposed to operate for profit.
Yes, and you said that about 1.9 million, that was 1.9 million
Across all 4, that's in total, on the total column.
loss.
No, profit,
Profit, 1.9 million across the board.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, I have one more.
Okay.
So where do I see the profit for each one under this?
It would be, you're talking about on the same exhibit?
Yes, going through the 4
Sure.
non-gap,
Change in net position.
change in that position.
It's the
Okay.
third line from the bottom.
Thank you.
And so the 1.892 on the far right is where I just rounded to 1.9.
Okay. So with the total revenues and then total expenditures, if you're only bringing in 1.4 million and spending 2.9 in the other in financing, how does that, I don't understand how.
So grants brought the 4 entities to just shy of a loss of 560,000, and then transfer ins make the
I didn't
difference.
think grants could be counted as profit.
Well, they're assigned specifically to those, and it's revenue that helps pay those costs.
Yeah, I just didn't think that could be counted as in with profit though, from previous understanding. So that's why I was a little confused because it's not.
No, so you have an operating income loss in the middle of the page, and then you have all the other types of, so you have direct costs, that operating income loss is profits and loss depending on the entity you're looking at, And then the next section reconciles all the things that are not normal operating income or operating expenses, like interest income, grants, miscellaneous revenues, interest expense because you're paying debt, things like that get reconciled in that third section of that statement.
Right, maybe everybody else understands that, but I just don't, you know what I mean? It's just a little, I have to dig into this a little more. It's a little weird to me because I'm just going off of revenues and expenditures and then the other finance. And it just all seems that it's being grouped in when previously it was separate. So I don't understand how, if it's a revenue, it's a revenue, in my opinion. If it's an expenditure, it's an expenditure. That's the simple bottom line. So,
And that's where that figure in the middle of the page, operating income or loss, is that kind of profit and loss. And then you go to the bottom after other changes. This is a statement, it's GASB, Governmental Accounting Standard Board, that says this is how the statement goes, and it's been presented like this for years.
I'm just to make sure clear, because that the Maxwell Center profited $156,865 is what you're saying.
I'm saying their operating or their direct loss was 1.2 million. The direct loss, meaning this is what the revenue they brought in, and here are their day-to-day expenses.
Okay.
So that's a 1.2 million in the middle of the page. But then they got 5,000 from some type of grant. They had 49,000 in interest, 6,000 in donations. They spent 339,000 to pay their debt, creating an income before contributions and transfers, a loss of 1.5 million. You have to reconcile every bit of money that flows through Fund 667 in this case.
Overall, I do, looking at the numbers, I think definitely the Maxwell Center is, not doing as well as it should be doing.
No.
We definitely need to kind of figure some things out pertaining to that.
I mean, they were making great strides, and then COVID hits, and it's like they've started all over again, having to go back up to where they were pre-COVID.
Thank you.
Ma'am, if I can ask one question.
Sure.
Kind of on the same line as Commissioner Foster, looking at the Maxwell Center. Transfers in, that 1.6, what does that represent?
Well, I couldn't tell you the exact details, but it does come from the government side, transfers into the entity to help cover the costs. For example, you have employees there that have elders' retirement that has to be funded and things like that. And then sometimes you transfer in just for the sole purpose of paying that debt payment because they're not making enough to make their own debt payment and things like that.
What is the debt payment on that?
I can tell you on this statement, I don't have it in front of me, wait a minute. I can tell you on Exhibit 8 in the financial statement that I didn't put on the overhead, it is right at, looks like $1 million. So if you go to Exhibit 8 on the left-hand side, page 41, just about a third of the way down the page, it shows you the principal payment and the interest payment, and that's about $1 million.
Did this, on page 39, that's taking consideration, that's coming out of that as well, correct?
Yes, all that's
Yes,
reflected
right,
in Exhibit 8, showing you where the cash was spent and where did they fall short.
That's the loan on the building.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we got the, so basically we're $1 million in the whole day one, we got the,
Correct.
right,
Right.
got it.
So this reconciles the cash on that Exhibit 8 that I just pointed you to.
I only have one more question, please, Madam Chair. Just to make sure I understand, when we look at page 30.
Page
the-
30?
Yes, ma'am. So restricted cash might be cash on hand, but it's restricted as to what we can use it for.
Correct. For example, you have the Q-SCAB loan in the general government, that's almost 13 million of that restricted. Then some of it's like PAL bill, well, you don't get PAL bill, sorry, that's state, that's city. It might be other grant restrictions and things like that, that set that money aside. but it's still strong cash balance without that, so.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank
and
you for coming.
They all have my contact information. If you have any other questions, please feel free to call me.
Thank you for the clean
So you have a
report.
motion to accept.
Oh,
So moved.
Yep.
Motion to accept the report.
So you got to vote this.
Yep. We need to vote on
Thank you, Dana.
all right, thank you.
We accepted it.
it. I'd like to thank Dana and Number.
Has anybody ever rejected it?
My knowledge, they might have wanted to.
I'd like to thank Nunn Brashear for the excellent work that they do keeping us straight. Especially like to recognize our finance team who do just an outstanding job with our financial processes here, and my hats go off to them, and we got a very smart team here, and I'm just proud of them. So just want to make that public. So,
And we think so as well.
thank you.
All right. Moving along. Ms. Archibald. With United Way of Wayne County.
Good morning, Chairman
morning.
and Wayne County Commissioners. I'm Sherry Archibald, the Director of the United Way of Wayne County, and I've asked to join me a couple of board members. To my right is Walter Krentz, who is a past board chair, and to my left is our vice chair, is Selena Whirl. And so we are here today because we are celebrating all year long our 100th anniversary for the United Way of Wayne County, and we want to do that in collaboration with Wayne County. And so we are here to share a proclamation with you and to invite you to join us in celebrating all year long. We'll have multiple different small events that we can invite the community to participate with us on, and we want to extend that invitation to you as well. So if you don't mind, I would love to read this proclamation. United Way of Wayne County celebrates 100 years. Whereas the United Way of Wayne County was established in 1925 with a vision to enhance the quality of life for all residents in Wayne County by addressing the most pressing community needs. And whereas for the past 100 years, the United Way of Wayne County has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to improving the lives of individuals and families in our community through education, financial stability, health, and essential services. And whereas the United Way of Wayne County has successfully united organizations, businesses, and individuals to create meaningful and lasting change, fostering a cultural collaboration and generosity in Wayne County. And whereas the United Way of Wayne County has adapted to meet the evolving needs of the community, responding to challenges such as natural disasters, economic hardships, and public health crisis with resilience and innovation. And whereas the year 2025 marks a century of dedicated service and transformation impact by the United Way of Wayne County, representing a legacy of hope, compassion, and empowerment. And whereas the United Way of Wayne County Centennial Celebration highlights the vital role of community partnerships in addressing critical issues and building a brighter future for all. And whereas the County of Wayne recognizes and celebrates the significant contribution of the United Way of Wayne County, making it our community stronger, healthier, and more equitable. Now, therefore, the County Board of Commissioners will hereby proclaim February the 4th as United Way of Wayne County Centennial Celebration Day, and the County of Wayne urging all citizens to join in honoring United Way of Wayne County for its 100 years of extraordinary service and commitment to our community. Adopted on the 4th day of February 2025.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve the proclamation as read.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve the 100-year proclamation as presented by our director, Ms. Archibald. You can vote. Thank you. Mr. Krantz, Ms. Swirl, would y'all like to say anything? I know you would like to.
No, not really, but I just want to say thank you for all the support. United Way is here to stay because of the important work that's done here, and everything that we give to United Way stays right here in our local community. So it is very important that we support.
Thank you for the board's support over the years, and as we move into an issue-based basis focus, we'll definitely need your support going forward. So thank you to the Board of Commissioners, County Commissioners for supporting us all these years.
And I would like to personally say thank y'all for all y'all do too. Thank you very much.
And I understand you moved to a new location. You might share that with the public?
We have. We are located at 309 North William Street. And so this new location is allowing us to really serve as a stronger hub. With our partnership with the Wayne County Health Department during COVID, it has really paved the way for us to be able to provide a direct service to our community. And so we're really excited to be able to do that. And so now we have a little more space, and we also have the space to be able to create some opportunities for volunteering. So we welcome you and our community to come by and see us there too. 309 North William Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Next, we will have Commissioner Vice Chairman Foster read the Black History Month proclamation.
Yes. 2025 Black History Month proclamation. Whereas much of Wayne County honors, strength, and stature can be attributed to the diversity, cultures, and traditions that are celebrated by the residents of this great county. And whereas African Americans have played significant roles in the history of North Carolina's economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development while working tirelessly to maintain and promote their culture and history. And whereas as a result of their determination, hard work, intelligence, and perseverance, African Americans have made valuable and lasting contributions to Wayne County and our state, achieving exceptional success in all aspects of society, including business, education, politics, science, and the arts. And whereas in 1976, Black History Month was formally adopted to honor and affirm the importance of Black history through our American experience, which goes back hundreds of years, including some of the greatest and most advanced and innovative societies in our history, from which we all can draw inspiration. And whereas Black History Month is a time for all Americans to remember the stories and teachings of those who helped build our nation, took a stance against prejudice to build lives of dignity and opportunity, advance the culture of civil rights, and strengthen families and communities. And whereas during Black History Month, all Americans are encouraged to reflect on past success and challenges of African Americans and look to the future to continue to improve society we live in, up to the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Wayne County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim February 2025 to be Black History Month in Wayne County, and encourages all citizens to join in honoring many contributions made by African Americans throughout the area and to participate in the many educational events honoring contributions of Black Americans. This is the 4th day of February 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner Foster. I entertain a motion to approve the 2025 Black History Month proclamation.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next,
Okay, all
Mr.
righty.
Crumpler.
Special presentation by County Manager Chip Crumpler, and I'm gonna turn this over to our clerk to the board, Carol Bowden, if she'll come forward.
I'm gonna ask the board to stand up, and tomorrow is a very special day, and we're not gonna be able to celebrate it with a very special person. Birthday of our county attorney, Gordon Parker, so we're going to sing happy birthday to him today. We won't actually eat the cake, but you guys can. But Gordon, we certainly want to celebrate you and how special you are to all of us, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gordon. Happy birthday to you.
Let's see. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
62, 63, somewhere in that neighborhood. 55. 50.
We couldn't put candles on.
Oh, is that what it was? The fire
Fire marshal.
Well, happy birthday, Mr. Borden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you have many, many more. All right, moving along to the appointment committee.
Madam Chair, we have a number of appointments today. The first one is a motion to appoint Ethel Sampson to the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. Okay. All right. Next motion is to appoint Summer Denton to the Tourism Development Authority, replacing Nikki Cox. A third motion is to reappoint Jamie Livengood, Jason Adams, Sheriff Larry Pierce, Matthew Delbridge, Christy Howell, Kimberly McGuire, Carol Bowden, Philip Sexton, Antonio Williams, Brooklyn H., Gabrielle Carsquello, Dustin Pittman, Curtis Stackhouse, Scott Satterfield, Hunter, help me with that one. Hajima. Felicia Widener, Felicia Brown, Beverly Bell, Renita Dawson, Mary Ann Dudley, Granny Vickery, and Colleen Kosinski to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. I know I butchered some of those. And that's in the form of a motion. Okay. A motion to reappoint Ken Gerard and Dr. Lazaris to the Wayne Health Corporation Board of Directors. And lastly, a motion to reappoint Robert Dinges to the GWTA Governing Board. Madam Chair, that's all we have.
Next on the agenda is to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda. Ms. Bowden, do we have anybody to sign up for public comments?
Yes, we do. Oh, I was waiting on, did we get a vote?
Yeah, we moved on.
Okay, well, I need you to. Okay, yes, public comments, we have Julie Whitfield signed up.
Welcome.
Good morning. So I just wanted to come this morning. I know some of y'all probably heard about the new program that we have coming to the court system. It's not being talked about a lot, and I don't know why, because it's a very big thing, but it's called Enterprise Justice. And it says, what is Enterprise Justice? And it's by replacing paper processes with cloud hosting. Online access to Enterprise Justice powers by the public allows the public for electronic filing and free online searches. There's a portal that will display court records and case events. Our go-live date is April the 28th, 2025. We're now preparing for that by having to go through files and pull out sticky notes that have been in there from years past, so that whenever we get ready to scan everything, that everything will go over to what we call eCourts, which is also a new system that we're currently working in. There's nothing that the county has had to, other than pulling the data of the lines, the county's not had to provide any finances as far as that goes. AOC has provided all the equipment. We will actually be working some overtime the month of May. Some of the staff, not all of the staff, but some of them will be here on Saturdays. We will be, not on Sundays, but we are going to work some on Saturdays. We're offering training opportunities on March the 26th at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and that's for external partners such as landlords, because it will literally be paperless. So their papers will need to be filed electronically. there'll be some, a little leadway in the beginning, but they really need to be able to participate themselves. We're trying to make this transition as smooth and seamless as we can. However, there are going to be some changes in the court system. To start out, our Chief District Court Judge, Judge Stackhouse, as other counties have done, is lowering the caseloads so that we can learn as we're doing this. We are actually visiting other counties who are already live so that we can see how they do it. Some of my staff has actually gone to other counties and seen how they're doing things. Johnson County, Wake County, different, Halifax or Harnett County. So, but anyway, there's not anything that's going to affect anyone else other than us and the defendants, of course, and some of the citizens, but not in a way that I think it's going to cause any problems. We just need everybody to be patient with us. If they've got any questions, we'll be glad to answer what we can. I never would have thought in 27 years I've been here that we would have ever gone paperless. But nor would I have ever thought I'd been the clerk of court of Wayne County either. So, but, the Lord's all different, and it's His will, and I'm working in His will. I'm loving it. We appreciate everything that you all have done. As I sent to some of you all this morning, we received an inspection, and the words at the end, I think, was something to the effect of the way the office looked, but it talked about the office, what was that word they used? Chip, do you remember? Did you read it? So, but anyway, at the end of it, I think they said that it was impressive. That was the word. That the office was impressive. So, and we finished our audit. That was good. So, but we really appreciate, again, the cubicles. It has helped us a lot with organization in our work areas. So anyway, if anybody's got any questions about Enterprise Justice, we'll be glad to answer them. It's just going to be, it's a big transition, but we're all taking, every week we have a class that we take online and a meeting, and we have one tomorrow with Judge Minshew. So, but we've all got to work together. Wayne, Lenore, Greene, and Pitt County are track 8. So we're the 8th track to go live.
I have a question.
Okay.
The landlord, is that a function that they have to come up and do something online, or they do it on their computer?
They can do it from their computer. So that is something that if they have access to scan or something like that, but if they do not, they can bring their paperwork and it can be scanned through. So in the beginning, I mean, I really feel like in the beginning, talking to other counties, that we may have to take the paperwork and actually scan, but we just are not going to be allowed to continue that because, it can get into the legality of it. So, but I mean, to start with, we're all learning. So, we will help them as much as we can as far as the scanning, and we can't fill out the paperwork for them. But yes, ma'am, they can do that from their own home. They can do it all day long, all night. I mean, we'll be getting processes at night. I've got to learn to cut my computer off so I don't accept processes at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be a 24/7 thing that we come
Would
in
they
the
need
morning.
passwords or anything to do this? Would they need special passwords or anything?
There's a system that they will actually sign up for, and that will give them all the instructions as far as that goes. We've been telling more, our landlords, the older generation, get in touch with your grandchildren, get in touch with your nieces and your nephews, because they need to give you some help. So we have some that have, are selling their trailer parks, and I hate to see that because they seem to enjoy it, but it's just the way of the world.
Any more questions for Ms. Whitfield?
Are you all offering some type of forms online, maybe, that they can fill out and that would abide by some of your regulations? So
Yes, sir.
make things smoother from
Yes,
that
sir.
standpoint?
There are forms at NC Courts, and it's file and serve is what it's called. And so there are forms that they can complete. The forms are there now. They can actually pull forms now and complete them. Even with us not being live, they just have to come in and file it, of course. But it's file and serve, and it's something that they will teach them in these courses, or we will be getting the word out. I mean, we're passing out brochures, we're hanging things up, we're trying to get cards out. My assistant has sent out notifications by email, by mail to different companies, businesses and individuals. So yes, and it's really self-explanatory. I tell people, it intimidates you to start with. There are things that I have filled out before, and I'm thinking, oh no. But if you take a minute and just really, it's really a simple form to fill out, simple questions. And then they just scan them. but that sounds easier than said to some.
And Leslie, I want to thank you for taking the time to come and explain it to the public. The more education we can get out on
Yes, and we're welcome, I mean, they're welcome to contact us. I mean, we love for people to ask because it's coming. You know, it's coming and it's a big change.
And
for
when
all
it
people.
goes, when is it going on?
April the 28th.
April
So that is a
28th.
Monday, but they will actually cut us off sometime around the end of that week, prior week. And then that Sunday is when everything will, and then we'll know Monday morning if we're good.
Okay, great.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy.
I'm gonna go see Cindy Whitfield. When I need, when I need something, I'm going to see Cindy Whitfield.
Well, if y'all need anything, let me know.
Thank you,
Okay?
Julie.
Were there any other public comments? No
Do we
other.
have anybody else? County managers report?
Yes, I'd just like to, I was out sick for a couple of weeks, and I'd like to thank the staff for covering for me. I mean, it was minor illness, but still a little setback there for 2 weeks, and, staff seemed to run better when I won't here, so I thank them for the job well done, and I appreciate y'all checking on me, during, my illness, but, glad to be back, get my strength back, so I appreciate your, concerns, and that's all I've got.
All right. We'll move on to our Board of Commissioners report. Commissioner Weeks?
No comment.
No comment.
They got?
Yes, ma'am, I attended the Board of Trustees meeting at the college last week, and, things are running pretty smooth at the college. With the new administration in Washington, though, there is gonna probably be some changes on, federal funds, and we really don't know what to expect yet. We just gonna have to roll with the flow and see what comes out, but, I think we're still gonna be funded, but it just may be in a different manner. That's all I have, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Gray?
Yes, ma'am. I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day next week, especially my 4 ladies that I live with. I got to go get my flowers. Want to say a special prayer for a good friend of mine, good friends of mine that lost her mother yesterday, Miss Judith Aycock, and Mr. Pete. Mr. Pete, he will need your prayers for sure. And want to thank Ginger for stepping in and doing the job that we knew that she could do when we hired her. Confirms again that we hired the right person. I did we'll get on Chip with his, kind of not really make him go. But anyway, talked ugly to him so he would go, I guess. And then we had to play a joke on him when we decided we were going to repaint his office and change the color and what we did, and we were just messing with him. So
I thought Pete would look good in there.
yeah, but glad Chip's back. But Ginger and Carol and Taylor and Mr. Board and Andrew, all they stepped right in and kept everything running as usual. So we know we got a good team. So thank y'all. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one comment. Would like to thank the men and women that serve in the Oakland Fire Department. My wife and I had the opportunity to attend their annual banquet last night at Oakland and really enjoyed it, meeting some new people and looking at engine number 3. They're very proud of their engine number 3, and it's very amazing if people don't realize how much services cost to keep our community and property safe. To look at a $500,000 fire truck that I know the county helps support, as well as Oakland's barbecue fundraiser that's coming up shortly. But it's pretty amazing what it costs to keep our citizens safe. But thanks to them for that opportunity to visit them last night. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Look like Daniel and Chuck doing a good meal too.
They did. It's very good.
Yeah. Mr. Foster?
Just gonna say happy birthday to Mr. Borton again. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Try to rest, even though I know you won't, but enjoy your day. That's it.
That it? Again, I would like to thank staff, what Commissioner Gurley said also. Y'all done a fantastic job. I sent a lot of texts and y'all answered every one of them. Thank you very much.
They were okay.
And Chip, welcome back.
They're gonna like you, Chip. They're gonna replace you, Chip.
And welcome back, Chip. We've made it better.
Chip, you said it was minor. A doctor told me one time that anytime they cut on you, it's not minor.
It hurts.
It does.
Yeah,
I feel much better now.
we're glad. And Mr. Parker, happy birthday and many, many more. And enjoy your day and everything. And
I'm
that's,
being
yeah. Thank you. And that's all I have. And do we have a
We
closed
still have
session?
some closed sessions
Okay.
to talk about.
All
Madam
right.
Chair, I move we go into closed session.
Got a motion to go in closed session?
For the same reason that you went in.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're out of closed session, we're back in open session.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we notify the school system that we are not interested in procuring the property, the surplus property in a Fremont school.
Have a motion on the floor not to accept Fremont Elementary School.
Want to raise hand? Okay.
Because it's not on the agenda.
Anything further?
Anything else further?
I move we adjourn.
No, we're going to recess.
I'll recess then, okay.
Detention Center and DHS walkthrough.
Yep.
Which one we
Go
going to
into
do first?
Windsor's driveway and come to the northeast, the new Sally Port.
And get some cake before you go.
Sally Port is the big enclosed area.
We're going to
Right away
first.
Detention.